Hey, what is going on, y'all? Today I'm going to be making a video about the repair of my BAK Revolver X4S. As you can see in the installation video here, I had this little bracket break off during the install. I'm not 100% sure how, but it happened regardless. And so today we're going to get into repair. But first, before we get into the repair, I'm going to talk about 2 installation tips that I want to give that I did not give in the original video that'll help you out in the long run. So stay with me. Let's go. So just to go into it a little bit more in terms of what is being fixed, because you couldn't necessarily see it in the opening. So this cover right here on this side came off. And so I'm gonna replace that. It doesn't seem very complicated. I'm gonna be extremely careful because right here, you can see where the rubber goes in at right here. I am concerned about that and what that'll do, if it'll pull away or whatever the case would be from the rest of the assembly. As you can see, that's all interlaced in there. And then I'll come over here and show you what good looks like on the truck as is right now on the right-hand side. So this is what good looks like. The cover's intact. You can see that the pin is installed through there and everything else. It shouldn't take me very long to repair this. I'm gonna show you some of the other features that I was talking about, and then we'll get into this replacement. So there are a couple different things I didn't show you on the installation video that I wanted to cover, just to make sure I close the loop on everything. And again, that video was one of my best viewed videos. I really hope you go and check it out because I think it's worth it to get some of the ins and outs, some of the details of the installation. But anyway, towards the end, I didn't show you the installation of these straps to keep the roll up near your cab. And there's gonna be something else that I show you as well here in just a minute. These straps, they install here on the rail of the bed, and then you just go ahead and stick it in and then turn it to the right, turn it to the right, and then you tighten it down. And then what that does is it keeps the roll from going into your cab. And so I'm gonna secure that a little bit better so you get a true indication of what it is that it actually does. There, and the roll's not gonna move. See that? And then the other thing I didn't show you was the installation of these rubber pads. I'll call them rubber pads. These, just in case it does roll towards your cab, it keeps it from hitting the glass. There's just enough space between the roll itself and the pad to keep it from hitting your glass. So please make sure you install those. Like I said, my installation video didn't show it, and I wanna make sure that you're not having some kind of issue because it wasn't there, or maybe you didn't finish reading directions or whatever. Because directions are for who? I mean, not me. No, actually, I use the directions on this scope. The first installation tip that I want to go ahead and get into is during install, or actually after the install, I found that this bracket rail right here was a little too far down. And what happens is they sell a shim kit to put between this rail right here and the rail of your bed. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some shims that I have that I use for my woodworking, and I'm gonna basically space it out so it raises it up and it stops hitting my tailgate. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'll go ahead and roll that down, lock that back in place with one hand. That is one handy feature of the BAK Revolver X4S. And so as I go up here, you're gonna see that raise up a little bit. You see how that's hitting? I don't want that. See how that's hitting right there? And sometimes, depending on what's going on in the weather, it won't close at all. I have to lift it up by hand, and I don't want that. But another part of the Revolver X4S that I want to point out is the security of it. So as you can see right here, obviously if anybody wants to get into this thing, they can somehow, some way. You know what I mean? If they use a hammer or whatever the case may be. But your opportunist, a lot of thieves are opportunists, they wouldn't just be able to jump in here and get whatever it is that I have in here. Although I don't carry much back here that matters worth anything. You just see that it is tough to pull this up, which is a good feature of the Revolver. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tools, and I'm going to go ahead and add that shim to the rail and hopefully get it up to where everything will close properly, and then also I don't have to worry about it when I'm closing the latch. So I've got my ratchet right here, and then I've also got my broad fixed shims. These are shims that I use for woodworking, like I said. And I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this bracket bolt up, and then I'm gonna take and put the shim in, push this rail out a little bit, and then hopefully that takes away that jamming that I'm getting that I showed you a little bit ago. So let's go ahead and get into this. just loosen this up. So I'm gonna pick me the thinnest shim I can use because the gap is not very big, and we'll see how this plays out. You know, you measure, what is it? Measure twice, cut once. Well, I'm gonna choose a shim to get the least amount of change as possible. Obviously, I want it to lift up some, but I don't want to distort any of the rail or anything like that. So that's why I'm gonna go with the thinnest shim I have, and that is 1 millimeter. And so go ahead and stick that up there. And like I said, they sell these, but why am I gonna pay whatever it costs when I have it right here in my garage? So I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the clamp. And so in my install video, I could use another hand here, but I'll make it work. In my install video, I showed how you need to put this clamp up as high as it'll go, and then also push down on this rail. And then you don't want to over tighten it. Just put a little bit of torque on it. And so that shim is in there, but it's coming down a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it back a little bit further, closer to the clamp. I still should get the spacing that I'm looking for, but it'll stay secure and not fall out from vibration and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm going to push down on the rail. Make sure the clamp is up as far as it'll go, and then retighten it up. There, the shim is nice and secure. Give it a little bit more. There we go. That precision torque elbow. Spacer is in there. Hopefully this is the right fit. So we'll go ahead and roll this back. Secures down, and it's still hitting. You can't really see it from the angle I was just at, but trust, it's still hitting. So I'm gonna get me a thicker shim. I'll go ahead and go a little thicker to the 4 millimeter. See if that gets me the clearance I'm looking for. That appears to be pushing out a little bit. Let's see what we got here. It's better, but it's still hitting. I don't want any unnecessary wear and tear on the parts there. So let me go ahead and change it out again. That's even worse. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I think what this truly is, I don't think it's a problem with the Revolver itself. I think the door is slightly higher on this side, causing it to hit. Because on this side, it's just fine. It doesn't hit at all. You can see how it's raised a little bit, but there's something off in the installation. It might be my fault, I don't know. But that's something you want to look out for when you're installing a BAK Revolver X4S. Is your tailgate hitting? I don't think it'll be a big deal. Would I like to fix it? Yes, but I don't think it'll be a big deal in the grand scheme of things, and I can work around it either by either by just having it be up when I go to use it, or just to close it slightly. I think I'm just gonna deal with it for now until I can figure out another way. If you have any suggestions out there, something you've seen, by all means, let me know. So these are the spare parts that BAK sent me under warranty. As you can see, this is the left side right here, and then this is the right side. I had the left side snap off on me, and then that's the part number for the left and the part number for the right. And so like I said, they sent it to me under warranty claim. I'm grateful that they did that. They didn't have to necessarily, because I didn't know exactly how it got broken, but they did end up replacing it. And I'm gonna go ahead and put them on the truck. All right, so last but not least, we're gonna get to replacing this corner here. I think it's gonna keep some of the moisture out and what have you from going in the edge here, but it's also an aesthetic thing as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this off. Kind of flying by the seat of my pants here because there were no instructions on how to do this, but it appears to be fairly straightforward. So you just pull that out. I'll bring the camera in close here. As you can see, this part came right out of the slot right here. I'm gonna bring you down to the side so you can see where it's at. This is the right orientation. It goes onto the rubber right there and it slides down like that. But this is the slot that it goes down into right here. Trying to get you in as close as I can to that, so that way you can see it. Let me pick that up just a little bit, that'll help too. That slot right there. But let's go ahead and get the good parts and put it back together. All right, so here we go back together. Just gotta make sure you have the parts in the right space. There we go. Fit it back into this slot. There we go. All right, so I swapped it out, fed it back into the slot, as you can see right there. And we're gonna go ahead and put the cover piece back on. And so there's the little stem that was broken off, and then the two little clamps that go into place. And so go ahead and put that back in. Boom. There we go. She's like brand new again. And so there you can see the new cover is back in place. There's nothing to it, like a 5-minute repair. Like I said, BAK hooked me up and I really appreciate it. Hey, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching this video. And remember to always ride as if your life depends on it. Peace.